All right. So what's up, y'all? Let's see what y'all up to. What's up, Adam? What's up, Bensky, Daniel, Tito? Yeah, what's happening? So we just had a trade just now for those who caught it, and I'm feeling like there might be clusters, so I would recommend that you guys just keep an eye on the charts, because something else might be setting up. Environment and behavior looking real good. Forgot what time we had the MRMH. Forgot the exact time, but the time of the trade just now that I took, 11:55. I think the MRMH was at that was at 11:20. So 11:20. Then 11:35 shifted to phase 2, and then we moved to phase 3, and then a trade came just now. And now I'm also continuing to watch. I didn't see this 12:05 either. The 12:05 looked like it might have set up. I wasn't watching though, because I was busy. I was about to go live here when I took that trade, actually. So I stopped what I was doing here. Then I took the trade and did what I needed to do. And then I missed the 12:05. Oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, 11:20 exactly. Adam said he got confused on the 11:55. What were you confused about? And also, keep an eye on this right here. This 1210. Keep an eye on it. A little out of sync, but the things that we look for are present. Everything we're looking for is there. It's definitely there. So on this one, just look at what your behavior does going into the end, and that'll just continue to confirm the phase that we're in right now. So you want things to be more in sync than that right there that you just saw. But the environment and the behavior is there right now. So I'm not going to be surprised if more trades come. At all. That was close right there. That was close. Your pricing went out and came back. And I don't mess around with that. If the pricing would not have gone out, that would have been solid, 100%. Yeah, let me look back at that again, as a matter of fact. I want to see exactly when it went out. Yeah, see, pricing went out when you was at 4. Then by the time you got distance and speed, the pricing came back. That's definitely a no-no. Because things can happen in the midst of that instability It was a very slight instability, but it was there. But the overall behavior in the environment is looking good. So I'm not going to be surprised, like I said, if another trade comes. However many that even might be. Might be more than one coming. Who knows? But I do like how everything is looking right now at this moment. It looks good. Looks good. Alright, Adam said, I don't have a recording, so I wish I could go back and watch it. Thought there was a back tick after 6, but I can't verify. I have my finger on the trigger on the 11:55. There was a back tick. But the timing of the back tick was after the fact. It was after the fact. So you would have already, been good to go. You would have already been good to go. But I took that trade 2 places. I took that in 2 accounts. Took that in my main account, and then I took it for the Blueprint project also. Yeah. By the time you waited, when you saw that you had, the distance and speed, and you looked at your pricing was on its way going out. It wasn't out yet. It was on its way going out. And then after that, you saw the BT afterwards. So if you were already in it, that's it. You committed. And that's what we do. That's why we wait so long for everything to be in sync, like as far as the environment and the behavior. And you want to make sure that you're doing things when you're in the correct phase, for one, and you've given the phase time to confirm again, which we did. That's it. That's why we train the way that we do. Yep. Exactly right. I'm gonna turn this AC on for a minute. Keep your eye on this one. Keep your eye on this one. This one is looking like it's gonna hold too, but you didn't have you had no pricing. Had no pricing. And it's a beautiful thing, huh? Look at that. Wow. That's why we don't break the rules, baby. Wow. Yep. That was one of those where you saw how much distance you had. See, somebody would just take for granted that would just hold. And they would try to take that trade just based on that. Nah, no. No, sir. No, sir. It might have gave you only one. I think it only gave you one. See, this is why I like the way that we wait for things to set up, because if you would, let's say you were just restricted to one rule. If you were just restricted to using one rule, then that rule would be out of sync with other elements of the market, with other elements of when the trade is setting up. And it's like having one rule that confirms, but there's so many other different nuances and different things that go into a trade setting up that you're not paying attention to because you're not trained to observe the market efficiently. And you bypass all of that stuff, and just because your rule was met, you pull the trigger and take the trade. That's how people end up being in those types of trades. And I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about just people in general. You know, when they trade, that's how they end up being vulnerable to the stuff that the market is capable of doing. It's because whatever their rules are, they don't include observation of the market, and they don't include, you know, like various confirmations that you can only see when you study the market. It's not inclusive of that stuff at all. They'll just be looking at one limited, restricted thing, and they're like, oh, I got that. All right, yeah, I'm taking it. They're not paying attention to stuff like the environment. They're not paying attention to stuff like behavior. And they get caught up and they get smacked all the time. They feel good when they win their trades, just like anybody does. They feel like they're on top of the world, and they think that it works all the time. They feel real good. And then what happens is, because they are not studying the actual market, they don't ever find out about the things that the market actually does and how things have to sync up in order to give you the best probability of winning your trade. I like to delve into that because I always think about that when I look at the way that people perceive the market to be. You know what I mean? Like, people just have like a general perception of what the market is, and they really have no clue what they're doing. Like, they really just don't know what they're doing at all. They really don't. Most of the time, they you know, it's like a wing and a prayer. Like I said, they're using one, maybe two rules that they set for themselves. And those little rules are just the pattern recognition that they are seeing in the market for one or two things. But none of it includes observation and study and interpretation of the market. It don't include any of that. And they get smacked all over the place, man. It's crazy. Like here's another example. Like you saw how what that it just did, but it was already priced out for us. So you just wouldn't be in that, period. You're just not gonna be in it. So now the only thing that you can do is just observe and you know, see if the behavior is still going to be consistent with what we look for. If it is, you know that behavior is still present. That's cool. Let the market continue to cycle through, and if the market wants to give you an opportunity, it will. And look, see what it's doing at the end. Behavior's off. See what I'm saying? Like, a minute ago, you saw what it did on that one that was nasty. That last one was, whew. That last one was nasty, man. And that's what we do. We avoid being in those types of scenarios where the potential to lose even exists in the first place. We're not trying to lose at all, man. Like, that's the key to making this work for you long term, and to growing your account, and to maintaining your account, and to having the confidence to take trades when they do come. Like, just relax and chill, man. Relax and chill. And like, even right now, like, even though we're seeing what we're seeing, the market is still like in the environment that we would want it to be in. Right now, we in a different phase. Y'all know which one that we're in right now. And you just wait for that phase to reconfirm and then proceed and continue. If the market gonna give it up again, it's gonna give it up, and that's it. If it ain't, it is. It is what it is. Exactly. Yep. Yep. Beautiful thing, man. It's funny because after the MRMH, there was a trade that set up, and I don't know who attempted to take it, but did I try to take it? I think I tried to take it. I didn't get filled. And I know, like, sometimes when people they see something set up, then they try to take the trade, and they may not get filled on it or whatever the case may be, and they kind of feel like they missed it. And it's like, nah, you didn't miss anything. Within 20 minutes of that trade setting up where we didn't get filled, then the 11:55 came. Like this is how the market does. You just remain patient and just let the market be the market. The market is going to give it to you if it's going to give it to you. And if it ain't, then your money stays in your account, stays put. And if you just learn to keep that mindset, the money is always going to just flow to you easily, because you're disregarding all of the elements of FOMO. Like you're not ever feeling like you missed out on anything. And that always keeps you in a very good mindset, and it keeps you positioned to, just be at peace with the market and allow the market to be the market without feeling any kind of way about anything that didn't happen or anything that did happen. It's kind of the same way that somebody will feel when they lose. They'll be like, damn, I wish I would have just not done anything. And it's like, if you would have just probably kept yourself kind of like emotionally dumbed down, and you just learn how to do that when it's excitement and when it's kind of being afraid and fearful. Like it's like a middle ground that you find where it's like you just don't have any emotion, kind of. Like, that's probably the best way that I could describe it. That's the best way that I could describe it. If that lady switch any harder, she gonna break her hips. Sometimes I see women, they switch so hard when they walk, like they gonna break something. This right here looked like it ain't had no pricing, and we ain't even in that phase anyway. I just pointed it out. You still in the what's the name phase? Y'all know what I'm talking about. All right, let me see. Adam said, "Wait for the orange juice truck." Yes, wait for the pressed juice to come. That's exactly right. Yep, that's what we waiting for. All right, let me see something. Yep, but the environment still looks good. Environment is still looking good. That's good. When the environment will hold, and then you'll just wait for the market to realign itself, and then you can move back to the last phase and then continue where you left off at. Good things happen to those who wait. Oh man. I had some of that pressed juice this morning too. The leafy greens. See the residue. That's what's left. Tastes good on ice. Oh yes. But that training last night was good, man. That training was solid. I've been listening to the last 3 trainings actually. Of course, in addition to 301. So I kind of have like 5 to 6 trainings in rotation at any given time. And then I alternate with which ones they are. But 301 is always on the list. So it's just a constant thing that I'm always watching, you know? Constant thing. See what this 1230 does. See what the 1230 do. It's already out. Want to see what the behavior looks like more than anything. Okay, see, right back at it. Yeah, that's what you want to see. Yeah. For the most part, that's good. That's holding. That's what you want to see. All right. Okay. Okay. Alright, I would say that phase is reconfirmed. I would say that the phase is reconfirmed. So at this point I would just be in the last phase and apply. The one thing that all right, if you now when you go back and recap what has happened so far, the one thing that did not go out is you didn't have to go back to phase one. You have not had to do that. When anytime phase one comes in, what it does is it hides behavior. So as you move back through the phases, trying to to ultimately work your way back up, you may or may not be able to work your way back up depending on what the market decides to do. So one of the things that I like to see is when one thing goes out and then you shift into the correct phase, and then when you're in that phase, you stay only in that phase until it reconfirms. And if you have to go all the way back to the first phase, it's almost like starting over, even though it's not like starting over, but technically it's the fact that you have to go back and now you have to wait for the market to stop hiding the behavior before you get into the next phase. You see what I'm saying? So you got to go back to the first phase, wait for that to confirm, then you go to the next phase, and then you'll be able to see it again because it had to. You had to wait for that to come back. You had to wait for that. You can't try to figure out what phase two was doing if phase one is out of whack. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, let me take this. Hey, yeah, I'm up the block right here. If you walk, you see where the truck is on the sidewalk. I'm right after that. All right, bye. I think the audio might have went out on this. Audio went out? Yeah. What? Yo, you mad greedy right now, yo. Some shrimp? Okay. Where? You want up the block? Oh, you wanna eat. All right. Well, I can't say no to City Island. All right. All right. All right. I talk to you in a minute because I'm on the live. Let me end the live and then we can go. I don't know. I don't know if they can hear all this. Ain't nobody lurking. You called me. That's why I told you. I just told you. I told you I'll talk to you in a minute. Nah, but you didn't say nothing crazy. Bye. Yeah, I see y'all on YouTube in a little while. I'm out.